Welcome back to part 2 of the very exciting Chores on the Boat. This time, Masa finishes off some necessary bits and pieces for pandemic protocols, and we are very excited to set off and slightly nervous for our big launch, which was postponed by a year. Welcome. We are Rhiana and Masa, classical pianists and owners of the piano boat.
Join us as we cruise the English waterways, making music along the way. And there is more to be done. Look at this space at the bow. The water tank is just here, and there's so much space here. So rather than to waste this, I thought I'd put this shelf here and put it in this area. And not bad at all. Here's a little extra bit of storage that I've claimed. Brilliant. And here we have another very complex build that I have managed to do. I've removed the original panels because I didn't want to drill into them. I don't know whether I would ever use the original panels, really, but I just couldn't. And also the panels were a lot thicker. I found some thin panels which will still do the job, and now I have fitted the fans, as you will see. So these panels would go where the original ones went. It was just for inspection hatch into the bilge, but now I have these fans and try to avoid looking too much at the terrible holes that I've made, but they do the job. We do now have two panels which will draw the cooler air from the bilge and also help to circulate the air of the saloon more effectively. And here we have it. Look at that. Where's the control? I think I might have to fix this somehow, but we also have the control of the fan here. I think they all have to be fixed more smartly, but I like the way that this panel has fitted perfectly. So there we are. And this side is fitted as well. And here we actually have the power, USB as well. And in there we have the fans and things that's stored for the winter. So there we are. A new panel installed with a fan. Some of you eagle-eyed may have seen that we've been trying to set up a bow cam, and for that we have an old laptop which still has use right here by the water tank. So this is where the panel's going to go, and the cool air from the bilge will be rising up, and there's up here we have the bow cam right up the top where you can't quite see it, but that's where it is. So all this will be connected and plugged in. Look at the way we've got the laptop at the bow right next to the water tank. Well, when one is trying to complete a task, it's just so difficult to try and film at the same time, but this was quite amusing for me anyway. So basically, the saloon air circulation isn't great. It's much colder with the aircon on the other side, unless we really turn up the fan, which is a little bit disturbing. So I thought to circulate somehow, I got a relatively quiet USB fan, which I'm going to put in the boxing. So now I've got the fan, I've opened up the boxing, I've got the fan, and then I needed some power. So I decided to take the power all the way from, there's a power socket at the bow, and so I thought, how am I going to get this cable through? And it worked. I put a measuring tape, and I stuck the USB cable at the tip of it, and I just sent it all the way, and it just came up, and I'm so delighted that I thought I might as well document this. So this is what I've managed so far. The boxing is open, and I've already connected this cable which came all the way from the bow. But you can see the measuring tape that brought it all the way there. So now I have to find a way to put the measuring tape or put it back without harming any cabling. But it's through. So now this is connected. So I just need to fix it in place. And the good old switch bot is what's going to be pushing the button, because otherwise I don't want to have to open the boxing every time I want to turn the fan on. So that's a little extra thing to think about. And here it's a bit dark, but this is where the measuring tape was sent from and the power over here. So let's see if I can pull it out. Well, that was very straightforward, and now I have the switch bot attached to the fan. So what happens is when I press the button, it will activate the fan. And this is 3 settings. So to turn it off I have to press it 3 times, but there we are. So that's all done. Then all that has to happen is for this to be installed right here. And I don't know whether you can see, but here we are. This will be neatly fixed, and that's that. That should allow a little bit more of that circulation all the way to the stern side of the saloon. Here's another little camera for the bow. This would be useful for when cruising. So I thought I will set this up as well. Although I need a magnet plate, which is yet to come. But this is all ready to go. I just need to set up the Wi-Fi, so when the time comes, it's ready to go. I don't think I need this actually, I just need the actual main camera unit. So there we are. Quite cute, and it actually turns. So perfect for when the bow is ahead and I need to see ahead.
Welcome back. It's Thursday afternoon and we are about to set off for central London for our launch weekend. We were planning to leave this morning, but our Bowthruster has been intermittently not working. So we've been trying to fix that, and I've been unplugging things and cutting wires, which was a bit scary, and plugging it back in, and now it seems to be working, but we don't know if that's still part of the intermittent fault. So we'll just leave and find out what happens. So we are going to head off. We need to be in London by tomorrow evening. So I don't know how far we're going to make it today, because we're a few hours delayed in our departure. So we're going to cast off now and get a move on and see where we get to.
Oh, you have to speak up more. Really
Why are you waiting for me to say something?
Oh, I know.
Good morning. Here we are on day 2, setting off to complete our journey towards the London Canal Museum. It is just past 10 o'clock, so we've got about 8 hours cruising to do today. So I guess we'll get there probably between 6 and 7.
It was the same route as last time, so there was really not a lot to film. Just disasters all along.
Oh, come on.
Well, silly enough, I was careful a couple of times and Rhiana warned a couple of times, and yet there was a low bridge and I left the parasol up and it completely broke and a wine glass shattered. But maybe that's about it.
It's not disasters.
Otherwise, I suppose it hasn't been too
bad.
Just
a normal day of cruising, basically.
That's true. So we didn't film anything, but I don't think there was anything unique that wasn't in the last June cruising. So we'll see what brings us towards central London today.
It seems noisier than last time we were here. Don't know why. What day is it? Maybe because it's a Friday. Maybe everyone's on holiday now, or going on holiday, who knows. North Circular again. I texted Masa to say, do you want to come and see it? Because he always likes to get out and have a look here.
I was setting up the stereo and more microphones for the speakers for the live stream tomorrow, but I was summoned up here, and of course, who'd miss the aqueduct over North Circular?
How are you feeling at this point?
Pretty miserable.
It's quite wet and rainy today. And we're just about keeping dry, but you can see daylight through this parasol, which was caught on a bridge yesterday. But we are coming up to Camden soon, where I think we will grab some lunch.
Welcome to Camden. We just had what's becoming a customary lunch from the market. We did spend an hour here, but now we are off. Welcome to Camden. We had a customary, or what's becoming a customary lunch here now from the market, and we've just finished the first lot and carrying on. From Camden, the London Canal Museum isn't too far. No huge dramas this time, no crashing into tunnels. We made it quite safely. We had a slight issue actually getting to the mooring, as inevitably the boat is rather large and the mooring space was just about long enough to accommodate us. And as you see, there were a lot of residential boats moored in the basin, and the last thing we wanted to do was to make a grand entrance by bumping into every one of them. I must say it was a particularly pleasant feeling to know that we were going to be moored here for 2 days. Our launch event spanned over 2 days. Nothing went on in the museum itself, but we were allowed to put a large screen TV within the museum top floor to show what was going on inside the concert saloon. You may have seen our Not a vlog featuring most of the events that took place, but here is a 3-minute clip highlighting some of the events that went on board.
An orchestra contains multitudes. Violinists, pale, sensitive flowers eating cheese sandwiches out of Tupperware. Horn players, cocky, bold, no stranger to the bottle. Double bassists, large avuncular types, phlegmatic, used to being taken for granted. Percussionists, people who, as per the old joke, hang around musicians. Harpists, fey and ladylike and inevitably driving a Volvo. Trumpeters, curry and beer with a side order of beer and curry. Stereotypes, all of them, unkind, unfair and inaccurate. Mostly, maybe.
And so we got thinking, well, there's a crazy idea. Why is nobody doing this? And I'm sure there are lots of obvious reasons why nobody is doing this. But we thought, well, you know, maybe they're just not crazy enough, so why don't we go that extra mile and actually do this? So,
story about Steinway that a lot of people don't know. You know, a lot of people say, you know, the world just exists by seconds and inches, and this almost didn't happen because
my heart it sighs for you, dear, only. Why haven't you seen it? I'm all for you, body and soul.
There was a jam factory at the end where the flats are now, so all the fruit pulp came in, all the bottled jam would have gone out. The Canal Museum, that's one of the older buildings on the basin. That was an ice warehouse. I'll tell you a little bit.
Now, by the time you get, of course, to Elgar, and this is this is what you have to work with sometimes, a very small score of that. That's the Elgar's Dream of Gerontius choral work. By the time you get to Elgar in this is 1900, you've got a composer who's writing, well, he almost tells you how to work the microwave. You know, everything is there. Every detail is there. Because he sent that to Richter to conduct, and that score was then there for us to really use and work with and to get the detail. He wrote down exactly what his conception was.
Your nicely coiled rope is now not.
This is quite fun to see the boat moving, but I'm still cleaning, as usual, shall I say, because we have a guest on board tonight. As soon as we more up, so cleaning ongoing. So we get shouted by these people, and I wonder who they are. And we seem to be blocking the way a bit.
I'm not.
This is a wonderful way to get around. I mean, what an amazing experience. Just like wave one's hand and have a boat stop.
Flag it down.
Catch a lift to them. Lock. Splash! I can't wait! Now, Graham, why don't you have a dip? You're being far too careful.
This is just quite a bizarre scene, this is. You find this to be quite a bizarre scene.
Is this going on Facebook?
It could do.
If I fall in, well, if everywhere. If you want your business to nosedive, you're doing it the right way. Graham and me. My goodness me. That's the end of it all. Be rather careful on this last little bit.
Yeah, that's the scary bit, isn't it?
Go on,
you've made it.
Where's the camera?
No.
Not at my age. No, you just want me to drink this and have another go.
Exactly.
Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Well, coming on this walk.
Especially after a glass of champagne.
Yes.
They're in October, that would be very sad.
Is it? Is it underneath?
Not going to...
No, it's
That's alright, just about.
What cheers?
Thanks so much. I know we've been a pain.
Cheers.
Thank you very much. Thank you indeed. That's wonderful voyage. Thanks to the dolphin. This is all we have. Just and we'll put that on the table. Gratitude and love. But it's not a measure of our appreciation. No, it doesn't. But I can raise your water bottle. It goes some way towards it.
Our poor friends here, this is all they could muster up.
It was stimulating so again. I'll bring some Moe. So with apologies, many thanks.
I'm sure we'll get drunk, don't worry.
So for the 2 bottles of champagne and the Canal cruise.
Yes.
Velvety inside, just like the skipper in this Right.
Well, certainly provided that high octane entertainment for sure.